Hi there, it's Sarah, and in this video I want to talk about the anti-inflammatory diet and why it is so amazing for long COVID sufferers. So I've had long COVID since April 2020, and the road to recovery has been up and down, lots of learnings along the way, and I have found things that really work. And I'm now in a situation where I can control my symptoms well. I know my triggers, and the management is so much easier, and I have so much more control. And that is what's so important with long COVID, is to get your control back. And this is why I do this video. So if you like that idea of getting control back and learning about the things that I know worked for me, then give this video a thumbs up so we can share it far and wide through the algorithm. So back to the anti-inflammatory diet. So what is it? Anti-inflammation means it fights inflammation. And let's be honest, the one thing that I realized, not immediately, obviously, it was a bit of a learning curve, was that my body was full of inflammation. And for me, it was in my lungs, rising up towards my sinuses. It was in my gums. So I had a lot of inflammation in my sort of upper body, if you like. And for some people, I know it will be in other organs, in other areas of the body. But that is for me where it manifested itself. And the inflammation would come and go. It would be sometimes feel really angry, and then it would ease off. And I couldn't initially recognize a pattern. And it was, that is what makes it so frustrating, is you can't figure out why it's really bad one day and better the other day. I also had fatigue, but I was able to get rid of the fatigue within 3 months. Because I think with the things that I did early on, and I was able to sort of get through symptoms over time, and fatigue was the first one I was able to get rid of within 3 months. So anti-inflammatory is going to fight your inflammation, and this inflammation is I'm pretty sure, and I'm sure doctors will agree, is kind of an underlying symptom of long COVID. Your body is in a heightened state of inflammation, and it just goes into different systems. And how it exactly works, doctors don't know yet, but hopefully over time they will. However, do you really want to wait? I don't want to wait. You don't want to wait years for somebody to tell you there is now something they can do. Let's figure out what we can do today. And fighting inflammation is a very good starting point. So I thought, well, if I take my inflammation down, which seems to be, triggered all the time, then maybe my triggers will not be as immediate. And so an anti-inflammatory diet, the way I approached it, which I think is the easiest thing to do, is to figure out the things that you're not allowed to have. And then you're left with the things you can have. So it's a diet based on no's, what you can't have. This means there is a clear list of things you have to avoid. And I want to make a little clause here, a little bit of a side note, that this is not forever. So the things I'm asking you to try out and to leave for now, I'm asking you to do this for 3 months, or if you're really suffering from a lot of triggers, 6 months, and then reassess. There are things now that I can have that I couldn't have in the beginning. So are you ready for the list of no's? Here we go. You can't have initially caffeine, no alcohol, no red meat. You can have white meat and fish if you like to, or you can have plant-based protein, absolutely fine. White carbs, so processed foods, basically, you have to leave those, no white carbs. And in the same kind of thing, I want to say, try and avoid gluten. I'm not saying you have to go gluten-free. I'm just saying don't go nuts on gluten. Keep it low with the gluten, because they are sort of inflammatory prone ingredients. Dairy. Now, dairy is really well known. A lot of diets will tell you to stay away from dairy. I would say absolutely, especially if you suffer from lung issues. But even on an anti-inflammatory diet, just leave them out. There's so many other alternatives these days that you don't need milk-based products. And actually sugar, although I know it's inflammation building, I found that I could have sugar and honey in small amounts. So my experience is that you don't have to go completely away from sugar, but avoid butter and sort of white flour-based products, so no cakes basically. So if that is the table of what you can't have, what does food look like? And actually there is so much you can have. So for my breakfast, for instance, I always start with porridge because I know then I'm avoiding gluten. My body has always really liked oats. So if you know that oats has never been an issue, they're not going to be an issue when you have long COVID either. And then you can start topping. You can have your, I have linseed on mine. I have cinnamon, blueberries, almond milk. So you can actually get a lot of good stuff in there. And then for lunch is always the trickiest one, because by then you're thinking, oh, the easiest thing to do is to have like a bagel or toast. And that's where you need to think a bit, a little bit beyond that. Maybe have eggs with a salad, eggs with mushrooms. You can still have a piece of I still have sourdough, but I can't go nuts on the sourdough. I can't have like half a loaf. So you have to start experimenting, but start strict. I can't stress this enough. Initially, the biggest mistake I made is that I realized that diet was a crucial part in containing the inflammation, but because initially I didn't know what long COVID was. I didn't know how chronic this was going to be. So I saw good results by having a diet, and then maybe on day 5, as I thought, I've got this under control, I maybe would let my diet go a little bit. When I say go, I wasn't going mad. I may have had some, let's say, a curry, and maybe there was some dairy in the sauce and white rice, for instance. And then literally that night or the day after, I would have quite a strong reaction. It wouldn't be immediate. There is a delay as well. So be aware that's how you need to kind of get the feedback. It's not always an immediate reaction. It can be 12 hours, even 24 hours later, that your body is showing the signs of the inflammation. And so it took me around 7 months to realize that I had to be super strict. And it was actually at a point where I just had enough, that I said, this is it, I'm going to make a stand and I'm going to be super strict for 3 months. And I improved so much in those 3 months. And it just showed you that if you can keep all your triggers away, your inflammation dies down, and then actually your body starts healing at a deeper level. Will it sort everything out? No. Long COVID is complicated. You need more than just a diet, but it's a good starting point. And actually, it's probably the most crucial thing I have done. Will you feel better? I think there is a big chance that you will. And then, of course, you can start phasing in other things. You can start thinking about exercise, supplements, holistic therapies, there's other things. But you just having that sense that you're getting control again will also be mentally give you an uplift. So I hope this is helpful. I'm going to put lots of links below on the anti-inflammatory diet, other kind of pointers where you can find recipes. Any questions you may have about this, please do. Obviously I have a lot of experience with the diet, with long COVID, and I'm here to share because we need to empower ourselves with knowledge. Knowledge is what's going to get you better again. I don't think time on its own will heal long COVID, because your inflammation is not dying down by itself, or it's so slow that it's too frustrating to wait for. So let's not wait for it to get better. Let's make ourselves better. Great. So if you like this message, if you like my video, if you want me to do more videos, give it a like, subscribe, and I hope to see you soon. Bye.